Welcome back to Cord Cutting Today, where we break down some of the biggest stories happening in the world of cord cutting. And today we got a special edition. It's Christmas in the United States. Merry Christmas, everybody out there. We really appreciate your support this year. But I've taken the time to pre-record a special Christmas video looking back at some of the biggest stories of 2024. Ones that I think will have a great impact going forward into 2025. We're going to dive into some of these stories, kind of give you a quick breakdown on them, a little update as best I know, and talk about why this is such an important story still going forward in the world of cord cutting. If you want to learn more about any of these stories, including YouTube TV being forced to be categorized as a cable TV company, Amazon's big plans for home internet, and Roku implements mandatory terms of service updates so you can't use your device. Who remembers that one? These stories and a whole lot more are coming up. I'll put a link to each one in the show notes and in the first pinned comment there. You can read them for yourself if you want to. If you're new here and you like what we do here, please consider hitting that subscribe button, hitting that thumbs up. Doing one or both lets YouTube know you enjoy what we do here, so they recommend our videos to more people. And hopefully we can help you break free from the high cost of TV and still watch the shows you enjoy. All right, let's dive into this. So this is actually from the very end and beginning of 2024. A lot's happened. There's been a few updates, but let's break down. Local ABC, CBS, Fox, and NBC owners want YouTube TV and other streaming services like it classified as cable TV companies. There's a lot with this. And number one, at the bottom line, is money. They see this as a way to generate more revenue because it would force these streaming services to have to negotiate more directly with them on bigger long-term deals. Currently, major companies like CBS, NBC, Fox, and others have these pool agreements that allow them to strike a deal with a streaming service that offers all locals. Instead of YouTube TV going to each individual TV station owner and saying, hey, we want to carry your channel, they've kind of struck these deals that allow CBS to do it on their behalf. At the time, that was seen as a great way. Now, cable TV companies have, local TV stations have said they think that they're not getting the money they're worth. We saw this with the Fubo deal, which saw several TV companies back out of the prearranged contract made by CBS with Fubo about a year and a half ago or so now. With that, though, they want to be able to negotiate themselves because they feel like they can get more money. We've seen several local TV station owners say almost exactly that in earnings call. Now, to do this, they're asking the FCC to reclassify streaming under the same rules that cable TV companies do. This would bring all kinds of things into play, give the FCC more control over streaming services like YouTube TV, Fubo, Hulu Plus Live TV, and others. And it could mean more blackouts and other things hitting the world of cord cutting. This is not done. This battle is still very much underway, and I'm going to be very honest with you. It's going to be very interesting to see what the new FCC administration in 2025 will do with this. I don't know if we fully have enough information on them to decide how they're going to fall on this issue. Are they going to dive into it because they want, in the support of the large station owners, say, hey, station owners should be able to negotiate for their content like they do with Comcast and Spectrum? Or they say, hey, this is a different field, a deal was struck here, a contract was signed, and it should run through the national ones. You know, CBS says, hey, you want to be a CBS affiliate? It means you're part of this streaming bundle on contracts. Look for this. There's definitely a back and forth fight. Fubo and others are leading the way on it, but there's a huge back and forth fight on these two. Recently gone a little quiet. They've kind of, some of the very public rhetoric on this has gone down, but mark my words, it's something they still really want to have happen. So look for that to be a big story in 2025. All right, this one is pretty recent from December of 2024. Another cable TV company is shutting down. We've seen quite a few cable TV companies either announce plans to shut down, including GCI, the largest cable TV provider in Alaska, shutting down in 2025. Later this week, or actually early next week, December 30th, my apology, in North Carolina, a small cable company is shutting down. It's projected that over 50 cable TV companies will shut down completely or shut down their TV service in 2025. There are still hundreds of small cable TV companies across the United States. They're being gobbled up or just shut down. In Alaska, the largest cable TV provider, GCI, I think is how is the company name, if I remember correctly, since 2020 has lost 70% of its subscribers. And because of that, it's ruled that it's just no longer financially feasible to continue to offer TV service. There's just no money in it. They're losing money. They want to focus on internet, phone, and other ventures that generate money. Because of that, we're seeing these companies just say we have to. Look for this ball to speed up. I know the numbers project about 50. Nope. I was on the phone earlier, and that's what's causing that. But the numbers project about 50 out there with this. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot more small cable TV companies are either sold, shut down, or more with that. Hey, this is a live one take. Bloopers happen. I apologize. Someday I'm going to do a blooper reel. I did post them on X recently. I should really do a blooper reel. All right, next story up. Now this one is back from March. And if you remember, Roku had a mandatory terms of service update that disabled your TV, disabled your streaming player if you didn't accept it. Put up a big pop-up and you could do nothing. Couldn't even switch to an HDMI port to continue to use your TV. This comes as Roku was still very mum on why they had to be so aggressive on this. But Roku's been making a lot of changes. In short, Roku said, hey, we have new terms of service. If you don't accept it, your TV is bricked. Your streaming player is bricked. They're not the only ones that have done similar things in the past. Look for this to become more and more common going forward. More and more of these companies out there will continue to do more aggressive terms of service updates. A lot of this is to protect them in a growing, confusing world of advertising and privacy concerns and the like with changing laws across the country. Look for that to become a bigger thing in the future. Let me know, were you impacted? Did that change your opinion of Roku and what they wanted? It was a huge story when it happened that Roku forced this and you couldn't do anything without it. I'll put a link to our video and our story down below. All right, next up, Amazon CEO is hoping hundreds of millions of people will eventually subscribe to its internet service. Keep a close eye on Amazon's home internet service, slated to launch in 2025. Severely delayed in 2024. They repeatedly had hoped they would launch commercial satellites. They did launch some test satellites. Those completed their testing and were destroyed. But now they were hoping to start mass launching in 2024, then late in 2024, and now they're looking at early 2025. Look for Amazon's home internet service, which would be a lot like Starlink's service from SpaceX. Low Earth orbit satellites that offer high-speed internet. They say up to a gig, and they hope to be cheaper than the internet offered by Starlink and SpaceX. Rural internet is changing dramatically in the United States. Long ago, you only had one option, it was dial-up. Increasingly, 5G home internet, fiber, and internet from space is becoming a reality as more and more internet providers come to rural America, changing the world of internet. Not just that, but people, nomads, RV livers, and more. People who don't have a fixed address and travel for a living life. Having internet options now, way faster, way better than ever before, is changing the world and bringing cord cutting to rural Americans that we've never seen. Look for internet options to be a big player in 2025 as we see more and more of these services come out. All right, next up, cord cutting 2.0. We were just talking about Starlink and Amazon competing for rural America. Well, 5G home internet, fiber, and more becoming more and more larger. I expect in 2025, cord cutting 2.0, which is people who have canceled cable TV, now canceling cable internet, and switching to new internet providers, to become a bigger and bigger trend. And we see a rapid growth of this in 2024 and into 2025 now. I expect to see this grow and grow and grow. Have you become a cord cutter 2.0? I think that this could be hugely devastating for cable companies. They've long expected to just rely on the internet side, and now that doesn't look like such a guarantee anymore. Look for that to happen over at with cord cutting 2.0 in 2025. And lastly, since AT&T bought DirecTV, it has lost over 14 million subscribers. This story was back in March of 2024. That number is probably really a lot higher. Now, AT&T is spinning off DirecTV. DirecTV has had a failed merger with Dish. Okay, Dish is in a worse spot, but DirecTV is not in a great spot. Will both Dish and DirecTV be facing bankruptcy or other concerns into 2025? Dish, very likely, to be honest with you. DirecTV, maybe less. But the satellite TV industry is not what it used to be. With internet now being widely available in rural America, I have some friends in Alaska who talk often about how SpaceX's Starlink has changed rural Alaska, especially those villages, connecting them to the world in a way they've never been. Because of that, we are seeing cable TV that dominated some, and satellite TV in particular, that dominated rural America because they didn't have fast enough internet, collapsing. Look for internet options to dramatically see a rapid growth in cord cutting in 2025 amongst rural counties that once time, not that long ago, had no option for cord cutting. Well, that's it for today. I hope you have a fantastic day. Let me know what you think. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I want to hear what you thought of these stories from 2024. What did you think was the biggest story in 2024? So much else happened. Redbox shut down. Many other streaming services sold, merged, or dramatically changed in 2024. I think we're about to see a lot more in 2025. I'm going to be here for it. I'm going to keep you up to date. Hope you have a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, and a whole lot more coming up real soon. Until next time, take care, be safe. I'll talk to you all again soon.